think, the key striker for Inter Milan to be able to score in the opening first half. Yes.
That's very good. I think and I believe that in the second leg, Benfica will up their defense, and if they're lucky, then they might get a draw. But I also go for Inter Milan to win the league.
Yes.
So for Bayern and Man City, so for Man City, they always score most of the time when they play with Bayern. But where was the problem? Because the game ended in a 3-0. So do you think when it comes to the second leg, they will up their game?
Oh, Benfica.
Bayern and Man City.
Bayern and Man City.
Yeah.
My friend, that is such a difficult task for Bayern Munich, because let me tell you something, Sir Elvis. You see, for Bayern, they were trying to replicate Chelsea. They were trying to replicate Chelsea's success in the previous season, because they were following the same script. You know, Chelsea came and they sacked their coach at that time, Frank Lampard, and then they took Tuchel. And Tuchel was able to push Chelsea all the way to the finals, and also they managed to win the Champions League Cup. So as you can see also for Bayern, they were trying to you can sense that they were trying to replicate it, by signing Tuchel as their head coach just at that moment when they are going into the UEFA Champions League. So many people outside in the football world, everyone was, Manchester City, it will be a nightmare for our coach, Mr. Pep Guardiola, to be able to face Tuchel. But we were able to prove them wrong, and it wasn't because Tuchel is a bad coach. No, it's because Mr. Tuchel had a little time to be able to replicate the success he had in Chelsea, but also because Manchester City, I feel, it's such a powerful team compared to Bayern, and we saw the cracks in the game. Even in the first half. Bayern, yes, they were really struggling, but the Manchester City game, it's quite fast. And it's unmatched for the Germans. So later on in the game, you find like the Bayern Munich, they were replicating our game. They're replicating Manchester City game. So they're also going with the fast pace of our game, and that's a big disadvantage for them. And we saw it. We saw the cracks, and we were able to counter them and also open the first goal. But one big surprise that happened in that match is the fact that our mid-back, Mr. Rodrigo himself, putting a ball at the back of the net in the UEFA Champions League. It's so unlikely, and considering that it was outside of the box, to be able to open it. So the first time that I saw that goal, I just knew it is done, and I knew this is going to be like a 3-0. I even predicted it's going to be 3-0 to all my friends. They didn't believe, everyone was against it. They thought Bayern would come back because Bayern is a very tactical and technical team. Even as they say, football is made in Germany, but we were able to outsmart them. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. One thing, why did Haaland? Haaland has experience because he has played in Germany.
Yes.
And he really knows the defenders, and most of these defenders from Germany. And he was from a strong team. And why did he not sorry? So why did he, when it came to I think he scored the final goal. So I thought that at that time, the defenders were not alert, so that's why he used that opportunity to score. Haaland will take the chances that he will be given at score?
Well, that's a good question, honestly. It is a good question. But we can already see, you know, because based on the pattern, based on the games that he's already played against Bayern. Yes, you know, everyone's eye is on Haaland because Haaland is such a great striker, and given opportunity, he does wonders for the team. We saw him miss a few chances, especially in the first half. He just tend to pass the ball to the goalkeeper. He didn't give it the punch that the strike needed. So, but there is weakness in everything, you know. But considering that he's also still in form and he was able to net, and he was also able to give an assist to Mr. Bernardo Silva, who was able to, you know, score. That is such an amazing, amazing art of teamwork. And teamwork is, you know, Manchester City is all about teamwork. Even if you see the game, there isn't one particular star like in other teams, you know. So we don't really rely on Haaland because if you put Haaland on the bench, there are also other players like Mahrez who can come forward. There's also Grealish who comes forward. We also saw the likes of Bernardo Silva able to score. You know, which team? I mean, come on, which team so far in this Champions League have you seen the mid defenders, somebody such as Rodrigo, able to take an opening shot and score? You see, so that is such an amazing thing for Manchester City. Moving to Bayern, we don't see as much. We saw Leroy Sen trying to take advantage, you know, trying to go for the long passes, but considering that Manchester City has the top goalkeeper, you know, in the Premier League season, Mr. Ederson, Leroy Sen's chances were held. They were stopped. So Sadio Mane, we didn't see him playing. I mean, everyone was eager to see him playing, despite the fact that we later on found out that he had an encounter with Mr. Sen, you know, which ended up in blows in their team, you know, which is a bad representative. It's a bad representation, and this bad representation takes a toll also on the team. It just shows us that these players are not unified. There is just something about it, you know. Even as a team, you should be able to even just make jokes to somebody also in your team, and they don't take it as an offense. But if you make some sort of joke and this person takes it to heart to the point where violence is there, that just shows, you know, counting on Sadio Mane and Leroy Sen, it's, you know, there's just problem inside the team. Yeah. So this team is not as unified as maybe the team that Tuchel headed in the last season with Chelsea. Yeah. So for Bayern, I feel like this is the last end. I don't think they can pull a wonder card on the 3-0 advantage that Manchester City has. I don't think they can pull it out. Yes.
Now, previously, Bayern didn't have a coach. Yes. So, but when Thomas came, they gathered their confidence and they started scoring. Yes. Just the same as when he joined Chelsea. And when it comes to Mane, most of the time you see that sometimes he plays the first half, then when it comes to the second half, they exchange him and he goes to the bench. Yes. So, do you think that Mane is not being given enough opportunities to grow and also get enough confidence, or what do you think is happening? Because since Thomas came, they've really changed a lot of things in the club, and also we've seen that most of the time in the first leg you can see that Mane didn't play. I think that's why they were beaten 3-0. I think if he could have gotten that chance to play, then that could have motivated the other player. So what do you think?
Okay, that's a good view that you saw. That's a good point actually. But there is something about Thomas Tuchel and Mr. Mane. These guys, the both of them have a great relationship together. You can also see it considering the fact that the punishment that Mane was given for punching Son, it was for him just to miss one game, you know. So that's such a light punishment compared to the other punishment that we saw, you know, with other teams. So considering also the fact that Mane wasn't brought into the team, also for me, I have questions. You know, there are questions in it. Is it the fact that he isn't well informed with the team? Is it because like this is a German team, there is language barrier for this Senegalese player, you know, to be able to communicate well with this team? That's why he was benched. There are a lot of questions that are arising to the fact that Mane was unable to play. But also, I don't think like the fact that Bayern was beaten directly related to Mane. Because if you saw that game, we saw the defender, you know, these guys, they were bragging so much about this defender because they were saying he is the youngest defender in the Bayern team. I mean, I don't think if this guy is 17 years old. He is so young, but the most mistakes that Manchester City capitalized on was through this guy. You know, Grealish was on his side, or was on his wing. He was, I guess it's because of the atmosphere of Etihad Stadium. You know, the fans, everyone, once you get the ball, everyone, if you are an opponent, they boo, they shout at you. And this pressure for a 17-year-old, I don't think he was able to handle it well. And leading to blunders that also Manchester City were able to capitalize, because most of the goals, especially after the first goal, the other two goals, they were as a result of this young man, as a result of this young player. As you can see, there was this one, he was given the ball and he didn't know where to pass to. He was a bit confused and he was running all around the football pitch, and he was able to be tackled, and this led to the second goal. And then there was also the third goal, bad passes and everything. So for us, we capitalize on these small mistakes. And in a league such as the Champions League, you should not be able to bring these small mistakes, especially in front of a bigger team, a team like Manchester City. I mean, they are going to skin you alive, and that's what happened. So most of the problems, I'm also considering that it was a clean sheet. Bayern were unable to score. Also tells you there is also a problem with the strikers and the front. You know, we saw some taking opportunities and these long passes and everything, but nothing materialized. Yeah? But as you can see also, the other players, they were unable to. Sane wasn't able to go inside the pitch. Also considering the fact that everyone was talking about the Manchester City players who were transferred to Bayern. We see the likes of Cancelo, you know, we see also even Sane. Sane was also from Manchester City. So everyone thought like, oh, they know about Manchester City. They know the game of Manchester City. We can use these guys to get ideas and to be able to, you know, go against this team. But as you can see how fate had it, it was unable. They were unable, yes.
Okay, well.
Yeah, that was a nice opinion, and I also agree with you. Man City was at home, and that's another thing which motivated them to win. Yes. So kindly our viewers, send us your opinion about Man City and Bayern. What do you think about the second leg? Do you think that Man City will win again, or Bayern will come back and win the game? So let's move on to Real Madrid and Chelsea. So previously we saw that Chelsea had fired their coach, that is Thomas Tuchel.
No, not Thomas Tuchel. His name, Potter.
Kante. So previously he wasn't on the first 11 when it came to the Europa. So what are your concerns about the teams and how they play? So do you think Chelsea is still a strong team, or what do you think? Because right now they have so many players.
Yes, that is the problem with Chelsea. The problem with Chelsea. I also, you know, I've said it previously. These guys, I guess it's just the working environment and the working culture in Chelsea's team. Yeah, they tend to sack, they tend to fire their coaches. Even after a short while, we saw the likes of Frank Lampard. You know, in the last season they led Chelsea to the Champions League, but he was relieved of his duty and Tuchel appointed. But also, I also expected the same to happen this season, and it did happen. You see, they sacked their coach, Mr. Graham. They sacked him, and then they returned Frank Lampard back to the team. This is such a problem. You see, Frank Lampard cannot replicate the level that Tuchel has. I mean, Frank is a very great player. He was a great player. He did play wonders for Chelsea at his time, but being able to lead a team, especially in this UEFA Champions League, it's such a hard task for Mr. Lampard. Also, they do have players. They do have very quality players, but I feel like in Chelsea's team, it's all about ego. The ego is too much, because you cannot tell me you are here, you are doing the same work. Your work is to score goals, and your work is to make sure this team is on top. But you see one player being paid huge amounts of money, and for you, I mean, maybe you think yours is just peanuts. You know, this brings this ego conflict, and this ego conflict is not good for the team. I wish these guys, because you saw like the previous signing, the last signing, Mr. Enzo. Mr. Enzo, he is a wonderful player. He does create opportunities in the field for the strikers, but they just cannot be able to find the back of the net. There is a huge problem at the forward line. But also, I feel like these guys are not communicative with one another. They don't give chances. They rather push the ball. They just escort the ball all the way forward, and then they lose it. So that's a major problem with Chelsea. I think it's all about the ego, and also considering that the most expensive team, and they've spent a lot of money on their players. You know, it can bring some leaks, some small leaks into the team, and also considering the fact that this Premier League season, they are number 11 right now. It's not a good form. You know, everyone was thinking, okay, these guys just won the Champions League, but are you telling me right now, being number 11, the next season they'll be missing it? So it's very likely that Chelsea will be missing the next season. I thought like this season they will try their best at least to move ahead and to win. But them being paired with Real Madrid, I mean, Real Madrid, they can be underperforming in the La Liga, but when these guys come to the Champions League, they take it seriously. They take it very seriously, and this seriousness is something that we saw lacking in the Chelsea team, and that's why, you know, Real Madrid were able to capitalize on it. They were able to score this amazing ball with these goals. And I think that's it for Chelsea. I think that's the end of the line for Chelsea. I can almost say it almost looks like the end of the line. You see, there was this time when Arsenal, they were really struggling, and the time when Arsenal were kicked out of the Champions League. It almost feels like the same environment right now for Chelsea. And if these guys they miss out on the Champions League, I think like they'll be missing 2 or more Champions League seasons if they continue like that, because no coach wants to join Chelsea right now. No coach with his right mind, or any coach who has great success in other teams would like to join Chelsea. Even Tuchel was asked in an interview before the game. He was asked and was told, Chelsea have an opening. Before Frank Lampard was taken, Chelsea have an opening. Would you be able to come back if they asked you to come back? And you know the response for Mr. Tuchel? He said, it is impossible. I cannot come back to Chelsea. And that word alone, you know, just shows the level of confidence that other coaches have for this team. And if Chelsea are unable to bring a coach to their side, a very good coach for that fact, because you need a very great coach to be able to manage these star players. Because star players, their ego, wakona kiburi. Wakona kiburi, so you need a greater, someone who is able to tame them, and you cannot bring just any small coach into that team because they will look down on him. Yes.
Well, that's true, and I also agree with you. Chelsea is a proud team, and I think because they have a lot of money, but when it comes to the field, I think they own the smallest field. But I am hoping that they will sit down and talk about their concerns so that they can solve it before they go back, before we come to another season. Because it's not good to keep on changing the coaches. So our viewers, so if you missed to watch these games, we have short clips that we have planned so that you can watch as we go for a short break.
And to make things even better, you can now watch us online on www.sciencetv.co.ke/live on any internet device, your phone, tablet, laptop and desktop computer from anywhere in the world at any time. Science TV, leaving no one behind.
Asi iya andoma musie. Science TV is now in Machakos, Kitui and Makueni counties. Science TV, leaving no one behind.
In 2011, Science Media Kenya Limited was formed, and in 2015, we officially applied to the Communications Authority of Kenya to run a television station broadcasting in sign language. Operating on a social enterprise model, our objectives are to propagate socio-economic, political, and talent development of persons with disabilities. Uniquely, Science TV has enabled many persons with disabilities to harness their talents by supporting their creativity and by extension reducing discrimination, social stigma and boosting their self-esteem. 60% of our employees are persons with disabilities. With this talent pool, we have emerged as winners in several international and national awards. We were the first runners-up in the Communications Authority of Kenya 2018-2019 Kuza Awards. 2018 SDG Ambassadors, an award by the UNDP, British Council and ActionAid. 2019 Disability Inclusion Corporate Champion in the Diara Awards, and we also are among the top 50 ranked solutions by the Youth Sustainable Development Solutions Network, and we featured in the Youth Solutions Report 2019, which was unveiled at the 74th UN General Assembly. And in 2020, we were awarded at the Zero Conference 2020 as the best tool to support communications in Vienna, Austria. In 2020, the world was hit by the pandemic and many people were affected, among them persons with hearing impairment, as the usage of face masks and isolation measures made communication an impossibility. With experience in the field, we launched Assist All, a sign language interpretation mobile application to provide communication between the hearing impaired and different service providers. Post-COVID-19, the application shall be used in higher education, employment, judicial systems, and social settings. Find the application on the Google Play Store. Are you implementing, working, or championing for inclusion? Partner with us to ensure inclusivity in every communication or project undertaken by you. Get in touch with us. The website is www.sciencemediake.com. The email is info@sciencemediake.com. Telephone 0111 980384, or you can find us on Twitter @ScienceTV Kenya. Welcome to the home of inclusion, and let's make communication beautiful.
Asi, iya, andoma musie. Science TV is now in Machakos, Kitui, and Makueni counties. Science TV, leaving no one behind.